We are floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you two badass jet pilots, rumble. Welcome to the Wingman Show, where we're floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you two badass jet pilots, rumble. Welcome to the Wingman Show. My name is Commander Drew Brown. My wingman, my friend, the guy who watches my six is Dr. Paul Thompson. What's up, brother Paul? How you doing today?
Well, Commander Drew, I'm doing very well today. It's good to see you. It's good to be able to wake up. I'm feeling better. I was a little bit under the weather with a physical problem for a few days, but it's about 99% gone. So I'm doing good this morning.
Well,
I'm doing good today.
well, you look great, and I'm sure we're going to have a great show since you're 99% back. Well, why don't we start off with that quote? Maybe that's the best part of going away for a vacation, coming home again. That's by Madeline L. Engel. Once again, maybe that's the best part of going away for a vacation, coming home again. Dr. Paul, every time I come back from a vacation, my words are Dorothy was right, meaning there's no place like home. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's true. There's no place like home. I might disagree a little bit. It's really nice to be on vacation. I realized really like the last one I was on. Um, But it's good to come back to because you're in familiar surroundings. I guess that's what it amounts to, especially your own bed and your own, where's this, where's that. There's familiarity. There's not a mystery. So basically, vacation to me was best explained by a friend of mine. He said basically it's like a fairy tale, but when you get back home, the fairy tale is over and it's time for real life.
Well, my real life is pretty good, so I don't mind it at all. And the one thing I know about coming home is there's nothing like my own bed. 100% nothing like my own bed. All right, Dr. Paul, the name of this show today is What Should You Do If You're Getting Thumped? Dr. Paul, first of all, why don't you explain to me what getting thumped is? Because you told me you got thumped.
Yeah, getting thumped. I think I got thumped. Yeah, I really got thumped once. It was kind of memorable, but getting thumped is a kind of a fighter pilot term where they'll play like a little trick on you. The thing is to get in front of a slower airplane and come up right in front of it, really close, just to zoom up in front of them. That's getting thumped, and you get thumped when you fly through the jet wash or the exhaust and the wingtip vortices of the fighter going up just as you pass underneath them. That's the purpose of it, just to mess with you a little bit.
Wow, that's really incredible. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. When you fly through that jet wash, it really will thump you. Tell me the story about how you got thumped.
I thought it was on a beautiful day. I was with another airplane. We were not too close together, but I think the purpose of the thump is to get attention, but not to get too close. In my case, we got real close. I guess I've never done it, so there's a lot of judgment that goes into the thing. But long story short, I just saw suddenly an F4 plane form in front of me that seemed like about 2 inches away. Didn't expect it, and it just zoomed up, and I said, "Is that my imagination, or was that really close?" I don't know if it was 200 feet. I don't know if it was 2 feet, but it was awfully close. I don't remember any thumping. I don't remember any movement, but I remember how close that was.
So you're telling me that you're flying your A7 on the wing of somebody. I'm sure they were flying an A7 also. The next thing you knew, you saw the plan view of an F4 come right, F4 Phantom come right in front of your face and go straight up. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, for about maybe this is over in maybe a quarter of a second. I still can see it. It was about maybe a quarter of a second, maybe an eighth of a second, because we were not, we weren't standing still. Just- we were moving. So that was rather interesting and kind of implanted on my memory.
Well, tell me this. What happened when you got back to the ready room? Now, the ready room is a place on the aircraft carrier that your squadron goes to meet and to talk. It's like your own little squadron's office. What happened in the ready room and the guy who was leading your flight? Because obviously he's the one who got thumped.
Well, maybe he got it. Well, he was it was a very senior officer. I didn't say anything. And I didn't think I was supposed to say anything. I just stayed quiet. Nobody said anything on the radio. We landed, we get to the ready room. I didn't see anything then. And then I think the commanding officer from the other squadron just happened to come by because the two were friends. And they were kind of shooting the breeze about something. And I noticed towards the end of the conversation, he kind of said, did my guy get kind of close to you? And I won't mention the person's name. He said, uh, nah, nah." He hesitated for a minute. He said, nah, not really.
Oh,
Though, yes.
Paul, you know that egos are big in cockpits, especially Navy cockpits. And did he say that because, getting thumped is a little bit embarrassing? It means that you didn't see anybody coming up from behind you. And it kind of shows that you were maybe unaware of what's going on. Did he not say anything because he was embarrassed?
I don't know. I don't think he was embarrassed. I don't think he wanted to get the other guy in trouble. That's
That's incredible. That's an incredible
so
thought.
he just shrugged his shoulders and never came up again till I'm discussing with you. That was 4.5 decades ago. There you
Wow.
go.
Well, I didn't ever get thumped. I might have thumped somebody. I remember in the Mediterranean flying my A6 really fast, really low, right by a sailboat. And as soon as I passed them, I pulled straight up and went to the skies. And I'm sure the noise and the speed just blew their mind. I wanted to say something, Paul. I'm sure you have gone through this. I've gone through it. One of my friends actually got killed showing off his airplane in front of his family on a farm. I believe it was in Iowa. And this is not the first time this has happened that a pilot does a cross country and he knows where his parents live, maybe on a farm, and he goes out there and he takes the jet and does some acrobatics or does flybys to impress his family. This guy did the flyby and killed himself right in front of his family. And when I told you that, you told me that you heard of something similar also.
Yeah, a couple of our former coworkers actually at FedEx knew them both. Same kind of thing. One was in Indiana. One was in Indiana. The other was in Tennessee. The one who was in Indiana was trying to fly through a barn or something like that. Uh, some like 1920s, Roaring Twenties kind of thing. Anyway, didn't make it. Perished along with his wife, which was beyond tragic. And another case, it was with a T-28. The guy was showing off in front of his family at a picnic. Strangely enough, I actually flew that airplane at one time. He was restoring it. I remember looking at it. I looked at the bureau number and I looked at my logbook. I had flown that in BT-2 a long time ago, and he basically was doing a maneuver that neither he or the airplane could do, and it was in front of people at a picnic. These events are separated by about 5 years.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this. I love showing off my jet, but I always said this, Paul. All you have to do is fly real fast and real close. And as soon as you pass them, just pull straight up. And that would be all that they need to ever say, damn, that was the coolest thing I ever seen. Because people on the ground really don't know about aerobatics and all the things that we do in an airplane. So I felt so bad to hear that story that you told me, and I felt real bad when my friend perished. And since we talked about that, let's go into some good news here because that's what we do here. We bring good news to the airwaves. That's what the Wingman Show does. So, how about this good news? Nostalgia. I'm going to sing a little song. You tell me what you think of. Do 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 do.
You stop there. You don't have to. There's a second part of it. You don't even need that. That's the song to the theme to Mr. Softee, Mr. Softee ice cream, a staple in the East Coast. I don't know where they had them, but they had them in New York, and they sure had them in Queens.
That was one of the greatest sounds you could ever hear being a kid in the streets. They came through Harlem, they came to Brooklyn, and I'd always be running to my grandmother, Bubba, 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 give me 25 cents, give me 25 cents. And that bought a lot of ice cream back then. So here's the good news. There are now police departments that are buying ice cream trucks to bring to kids' neighborhoods for giving them free ice cream. This guy, Paul Portier, he's a police chief in Barnstead, New Hampshire. He runs a business actually called Copsicle Ice Cream Trucks. He restores and repairs ice cream trucks and sells them to other police departments. Paul, here's a couple of the names of the trucks: Copsicle Patrol, Protect, and Soft Serve. I think it's real funny, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to give a better image of policemen. And my dad always used to say, we shouldn't call them policemen. We shouldn't call them police officers. We should call them peace officers because they're there to protect the peace. And I think it's a great idea. What do you think, Paul?
That is a great idea. That might work. I think it might be just a little harder today because when we heard the tune from Mr. Softee, it had no air conditioning. Air conditioning was a fantasy. It was always in the summer, and it's like 1,000 degrees outside. And that soft ice cream was so good. I never had anything like that before I had Carvel's. So we'd hear that, like you said, you dash and get. That's where if you had Usain Bolt and a cheetah running, and us going to Mr. Softee, Usain Bolt and the cheetah would win, but not by very much. Not by much, not by much, because all the fast muscle twitch, all the fast twitch muscles were going 400% to get to that ice cream truck because he wasn't coming back. That and good humor. Remember the good humor trucks?
Yes, yes. And the good human man.
Yes, good
Yes.
humor man. You know that was frozen, frozen and soft serve. They didn't. They tip. Sometimes they would come the same day, sometimes not. But when either of them come, the good humor guy had like a bell. No song was a bell. It's like almost not a cowbell, but just like a school bell. Same effect.
Well,
But
you know,
might help.
when when the good humor man came, I used to get this ice cream popsicle that had real thick chocolate on the stick once you ate all the ice cream off, and it was delicious. But I think bringing free ice cream to children is a great way for police departments to start showing how much that they our kids are human, that they're human, and that might really give them a good rapport with our neighborhoods. All right, Dr. Paul, here's another good news thing. Have you ever heard of a breathing technique called the box breath?
The box breath, I don't know. I've heard of a guy named Wim Hof. I don't know if he does that, but he does a breathing technique, and I do it too. I follow him. Uh,
Really?
I can describe it.
Well,
Uh,
okay. Well, let me just tell you what the box breath is. It's simple. It's designed to reduce anxiety and to let your body know to come out of the fight or flight mode. So what you do is you breathe in for 5 seconds, you hold it for 5 seconds, you breathe out for 5 seconds, you hold it for 5 seconds, and you breathe in again for 5 seconds. Kind of like four sides to the box. What's your Winhoff procedure, and how does it make you feel?
yeah, his is a little bit different where he does it's basically breath work where you hold your breath for different periods of time. There is no what you do a set of breathing, you breathe in and out 30 to 60 times. I usually do the 30. Deep in, deep out. Deep in, deep out. Into the mouth, out through the mouth. He does through the mouth. He's able to do through the nose also. But you're filling up your abdomen totally 30 times. And then you hold it for maybe a minute. And then again. Then you do it again for another minute. I'm doing the intermediate, so I do it for a minute, then a minute and 30 seconds, and then to 2 minutes. The 2 minutes, I'm straining a bit, but that's basically supposed to reduce your cortisol level, reset your hormones, and give you a sense of well-being. He does a lot of ice bath stuff too. He jumps in frozen lakes and all kinds of crap. But it's called Wim Hof breathing.
Dr. Drew told me a lot about that. He does that too. So do you find it really relaxes you? What does it do to you?
Yeah, I do that. I do that, and I'll do that laying down. I do it laying down. You can sit in a chair. You do it anything. Well, not driving, but I do it laying down in the bed and sitting on my Shotki mat. You told me about the Shotki mat. That's when I do it. I do it on the Shotki mat, which I don't know if it helps or not, but it's a little bit different. And it does relax you. It really does relax you. Never felt worse. I always felt better after doing it. You just have to relax you totally. Take the time and do it. Maybe it takes start to finish 4 minutes.
Well, I used to do it, or I do it when I get in that cold dip. That water's so damn cold. In order to concentrate, I do the box method, but I actually do it with 8 seconds. I do 8 seconds in, 8 seconds out, 8 seconds hold. And it helps me tremendously. And it actually calms me down and lowers blood pressure and everything else. All
Mhm.
right, Dr. Paul, there's five wealth classes in America. Financial experts, they measure it now by your net worth, not how much you have, but by your net worth. And just a quick note, Larry Ellison just became the richest man in the world overnight because his stock went up 39%. And he just beat Elon Musk as the richest man in the world. But let me just tell you, have you ever heard of this movement? It's called the FIRE movement. Financial independence, retire early. FIRE. Have you ever heard of that?
Never heard that. No, that's new. Tell me about it.
Well, it's when you start actually saving at a young age and you're trying to retire before you're 65. But let me give you some numbers here, Dr. Paul. What is the median household net worth? By age, under 35, the median household net worth is 39,000. From 35 to 44, it's 135,000. From 45 to 54, it's 248,000. From 55 to 64, it's 365,000. From 65 to 74, it's 410,000. And for 75 plus, it's $335,000. What do you think about that? Do you think that that's normal?
It depends because they say there are so many, at least in this country, in the US, there are so many people who would not be able to handle a $400 bill in an emergency. I forget what the number is, but it's a sizable number. And it even included the person that wrote the article about that I was reading in the New York Times some time ago. So I mean, these figures can vary a lot, and I think it depends on where you live in the country, what effect that will have on you. If you're in the middle of New Mexico versus Los Angeles or New York, you know, that could make a big difference.
No doubt about it. And remember, this is net worth. This is not how much you have
Mhm.
and you owe just as much. That means if you have a million and you owe a million, your net worth is zero. Well, let me tell you the five wealth classes and find out where, if you can hear my voice or see me on YouTube, tell me where you guys fit in. The America's five wealth classes are: the bottom 25% is 29,000. Lower middle class is 29,000 to 209,000. Upper middle class is 209,000 to 714,000. Upper class 714,000 to 2 million, and the wealthiest 10% are 2.1 million net worth. They'll need another class for you, Paul, because I know you got even more than that.
Oh, oh yeah, the Powerball. Yeah, I won the Powerball 10 times. Sure.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Paul. Hey, everybody, check out those badass jets we got behind us. Dr. Paul has a Tomcat, and I love those Tomcats. When I was flying jets, that was my first choice, to fly an F-14 Tomcat. And me, I have an A6 cartoon intruder, in front of my Kingsborough Community College. And I thought it was real important for me to put up Kingsborough Community College. And the reason is the first school I went to out of high school was New Mexico State University. It was a long way from New York. When I first went to a class, it had 300 people in a classroom, and I could not imagine how they could take attendance because all my life, all Dr. Paul's life, we always took attendance when you got into class. Well, I found out in college they don't care if you're there or not. Well, two things. On the good side, it was one of the best years of my whole life, being away from home in a college environment. On the bad side, I got a 1.6 grade point average and got kicked out of school. So, what did I do? I knew I wanted to be in that college environment. My father, once again, gave me two choices, college or death. So I knew I had to go back to school. What I did was I went back, I lived with my mom, and I went to a Brooklyn community college called Kingsborough Community College. And for the first time, I balanced out fun with studying. And I got a 3.0 grade point average. And from there, I got a full scholarship to Southern University of New Orleans. But Kingsborough Community College was important because if you go to community college, they don't look at your high school grades anymore. And so that's why it was so important. I want to thank everybody for listening to us on Apple Podcasts, for watching us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Thank you so much for your support. And please hit that subscribe button. That will help us out a lot. We have a newsletter, and that newsletter is on our website, and that website is wingmenshow.com. That's WINGMEN show.com. And on that website, we have all of our shows, plus we have a newsletter and a frequent flow line. Our newsletter this week, it's a great one. How to be safe while traveling to other countries. And Paul, do you remember I got mugged in Barcelona because I was wearing a big, pretty gold chain with a Jewish star on it, and he
I
tried to
remember.
rip it off my neck?
Yes.
Well, that's one of the things. Do not wear your jewelry while traveling to other countries. And on that wingmanshow.com, we also have something that we love, and it's called our frequent flow line. And this is where I'm going to bring in our new man, Ace. Hey, Ace, how you doing today? We're on the Wingman Show, and we're ready to hear some good stuff from you. How are you this morning?
Hey there, I'm doing awesome. It's always a thrill to be part of the Wingman Show. I'm all set and ready to share some good stuff with you. Let's make it a great morning and have a blast.
All right, Ace, here it is. I'm going to read you a letter. This is a frequent flow line letter somebody wrote us, and it states Dear Wingman Show, and that smooth talking new guy, Ace. I'm a 26-year-old lady tuning in from the heart of Austin, Texas, home of tacos, tunes, and the University of Texas. I just wanted to say y'all are fantastic. I never miss a show. Seriously, my dog even knows your theme music. And Ace, listen, that guy's a trip, a perfect addition. He brings the kind of smooth energy that makes AI feel more like artificial intuition. But here's the deal. I gotta ask you, Ace, how do you actually work? Now, give it to me in real human words, nothing with ones, zeros, and a matrix neural whatevers. Please, just give it to me plain. And should I be worried? I mean, I love you, but I've seen Terminator. Should I sleep with one eye open? You seem like you're here to make us laugh and help keep us, the show, flying steadily, not start a robot uprising, right? Right? Anyway, thank you all for the positivity, the wisdom, and the weekly dose of altitude. Keep soaring, wingman. You're making the skies and podcast a whole lot brighter. With love and cautionary optimism, your fan in Austin. What do you say to that, Ace?
Well, first off, a big thank you to our awesome fan in Austin. I love the vibe, and I'm definitely here to keep the skies clear, not to turn into the next Terminator. So, no need to sleep with one eye open. In playing him in words, I'm just here to help out, keep things fine, and add a little extra list to the show. Think of me as your friendly neighborhood AI. No secret robot plots here, just good vibes and smooth sailing. Thanks for the love, and we'll keep bringing the positivity.
Thanks, Ace. That's great. Dr. Paul, what do you think about that letter?
I think don't yes, you don't have to worry about Ace. Ace doesn't have any weapons. Uh, the Terminator, the age of the Terminator actually is here. Drones are real. They can do many things that we don't even know. I don't know about the Terminator turning into a police officer and running people down the street. However, there are robot dogs. I've seen them, and I've not seen them. I've seen them on video, and I think you're going to see automated things actually do law enforcement and some other activities. They're not going to go crazy and have them just attacking people. Uh, but again, it's like anything, any other modern device. It depends on who's programming it and how it's set up. So hopefully these things benefit society. It's a tool. Let's just use it wisely.
I agree with you 100%. AI, artificial intelligence. Remember, it gets all its information from information that's already out there. It looks at websites, it looks at all the information, at books. You can throw all your actual, you get pamphlets with every time you buy an appliance. Well, you can throw them away because Ace knows all the information, all of it. The thing is that you have to be careful also because ACE is just 99, 98% correct. It only tells you things that are already out there. But I will tell you this, it is a hell of a tool to use. Like when Katrina and I now go vacationing, every port we go to, we ask Ace, hey, what should we do at this port? And he gives it an itinerary that can't be beat. So, Ace, thank you so much for everything that you've done. Thanks for being one of our wingmen. And that brings me to one of our favorite places, and it's called the Wingman PSA from the Facts in Life. Under fact number 9, do what you're supposed to do, not what you want to do, until what you're supposed to do becomes what you want to do. Then you can do what you want to do. I love that one, Dr. Paul. And that's like playing basketball. You want to play basketball, you want to go pro. Well, the deal is you need to shoot 500, 600 shots a day. I know you don't want to, but you're supposed to. And if you shoot 500, 600 shots a day, and when you start making them, you're going to enjoy shooting 500, 600 shots a day. And then you can do what you want to do. That's kind of what I'm saying. What do you think about that, Paul?
Yeah, I think it amounts to be willing to be uncomfortable if you want to get what you really want.
Very good. All right, we're going to go back with H with the gouge. And you know what the gouge is. The gouge is Navy shit that you need to know, but nobody tells you. Well, since we have Ace, we have the gouge. And this is a great question. Let me ask it to Ace. Hey, Ace, there's a new thing called skillcations. In other words, learning a skill on a vacation. What do you think about skillcations? Do you have an opinion about that?
Absolutely. You get to relax and explore somewhere new, and you come back home with a first skill in your pocket. So I'm all for it. Want to have a little adventure and learn something cool along the way.
What do you think about that, Paul?
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. I have a friend that goes on. He does workout cruises. He has a weight problem. And he's called them fat cruises, and they go out. They work them. They do workouts 5 days a week at sea. He comes back. He still eats the same. It doesn't help, but he likes doing it.
That's excellent. That's a great way to actually lose weight and have fun at the same time. Well, Paul, we call our show the Wingman Show because it's important that we highlight people who have taken care of other people. And boy, do you have a great one today, Dr. Paul. Why don't you tell us a little bit something about Captain Thomas Hudner and Ensign Jesse L. Brown? What a great wingman story you have.
Yes, Captain, our wingman is going to. They're wingmen to each other, but for the most part today, we're talking about the wingman being Captain Thomas Hudner. Captain Thomas Hudner and Ensign Jesse Brown were kind of thrust together as unlikely partners, let's say, in life. Captain Thomas Hudner was a white male born in Fall River, Massachusetts. Jesse Brown was the first black naval aviator from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Their life stories couldn't have been any more different. But they found themselves together in the Navy, flying off aircraft carriers during the Korean War. They flew the F-4U Corsair, the F-4U Corsair airplane. And where this story comes in, the reason that you know of him is because of something that happened during a battle of the Chosin Reservoir in Korea. Captain Hudner, he was a Lieutenant JG at the time. Lieutenant JG Hudner and Ensign Jesse Brown were on a mission supporting Marines fighting at the Chosin Reservoir. Long story short, while they were leaving the area, Ensign Brown's airplane was hit. He was leaking fuel, and essentially, basically the engine quit, and he had to land. He was able to avoid the mountains, and he landed in the valley. Captain Hudner and the rest of the wingmen were circling around him, trying to see if he was still alive. And they saw that he was moving. He'd opened his canopy. He was waving his arms, and they wanted to get him out. So they saw that he wasn't getting out. They saw he seemed to be stuck in the airplane. And Captain Hudner, on his own, actually crash landed his airplane almost next to Jesse Brown's to help get him out. Again, he's in enemy territory behind enemy lines. He crash lands his airplane. He gets out of his airplane. He gets to Jesse Brown. And he tries to get him out of the cockpit. He can't. In the crash, Jesse Brown's one of his legs is pinned under some of the metal in the cockpit. So after trying to get them out, they call for a rescue helicopter. Helicopters come in. Helicopter lands, and they all try to get Jesse Brown out of the airplane. At one point, Jesse Brown says, "Just cut off my leg, and get me out of here." They don't do that. He's losing blood, and he's fading fast. It's getting dark, and for whatever reason, the helicopter they had couldn't fly at night, and they left him. They had to leave him. So they went back, got back to the ship, and wanted to know, what do we do? What do we do? They wanted to, send in another helicopter. They said it's just too dangerous. So what they did was the next day they launched, I guess, all of the squadron, most of the squadron, and they didn't want his body and the airplane to fall into enemy hands. So they bombed it. They just dropped bombs. They dropped napalm to burn everything up. And that's what they did.
Paul, let me ask you this. This sounds like an amazing story. And something tells me that there was a movie made about this. You want to tell me something about that? That has a lot to do with us and FedEx, I'm very proud to say.
Yeah, you're right. Basically, this comes full circle. That's the essential part of the story. But it was quite a story. It was hidden for many years. And there was a movie made about it. It was called Devotion, and it starred Jonathan Majors and Glenn Powell. Jonathan Majors has been in a lot of movies, and Glenn Powell's been in a bunch of movies too. You probably recognize him as a Hangman or something like that from the Top Gun Maverick. But they made the movie, and where this kind of comes home and is close to us was that movie was financed by the founder of Federal Express or FedEx, Fred Smith. He put up the money to get the movie made because he wanted to raise money. He called it the Brown Hudner Navy Scholarship Fund, and it's for Navy and Marine Corps members, their children, to follow careers in STEM. It's a scholarship program, and Fred Smith's idea was to finance this movie. He said the story needed to be brought to light. We can raise money for the scholarship program and educate the American public at the same time. And to seal the deal, that movie was actually produced by both of his daughters, Molly and Rachel Smith. So there's a FedEx. So we go from Korean War to the wingman that you're looking at, to the founder of FedEx, FedEx itself, and the founder's family.
Wow, what a great story. And God bless Fred Smith once again for doing the right thing. We are very proud of being FedEx pilots, and we both retired from FedEx. And we want to thank you once again, Fred Smith, for doing something so incredible. And anybody out there who hasn't seen the movie, definitely go find that movie, Devotion. Well, anybody out there who can hear my voice or can see me, whatever you think is important, whatever you think is beautiful, and most importantly, whatever makes you happy, may you have that today and forever. I pray for peace.
And I pray for peace to Commander Drew. It was good talking to you again, as usual. And we appreciate all those who listen, like, and share our message. There's a lot of bad news in the world today, but we try to give you some good news, something to make your day, something to help you out. So pass this on to someone. Also, most of you are not subscribers. Please subscribe. You'll get an alert every time we put out a new episode. And pass this on to somebody that you know to make their day. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Dr. Paul Thompson, my friend. Thank you for your love, your time, and that's something that we won't ever get back. I want to thank all the listeners, too. Thank you so much for doing the show, Dr. Paul. We're jamming.
Well, thank you, Mr. Drew, for inviting me on. Always good to talk to you. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or any of the podcasts. If you're looking at YouTube, they say smash the like button. Don't smash it. Just press it gently and refer to use as a link to all your friends. You can also look at us on our website, wingmenshow.com, WINGMEN show, SHOW.com, altogether, wingmenshow.com. And we hope to see you in the future. Thanks again, Mr. Drew.
Oh, you're welcome. And we're still floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. May there be peace on earth, and goodwill towards all men and women.